podcasting, right? Everyone is like doing podcasts. You are doing podcasts. Like prime ministers are doing podcast. Elon Musk is
Mhm.
doing 4 hours podcast, right? What
Mm.
is your thoughts about podcast? And if someone does podcast, can they reach to like 1 crore and above? What's your thoughts?
See, podcasts are really great way to make a lot of content in short amount of time. So we are also creating a content. Now we are creating content of around maybe 1 hour or something like that. It will be, this content will
Yes.
be. Once we have recorded this, now we can make 20 reels out of it.
Yeah.
So it's like बोलते हैं ना एक तीर से बहुत सारे शिकार. So podcast is like one arrow and lot of
Benefits.
शिकार
Yeah.
benefit one action and a lot of benefits with it. So if you start doing podcast, that was my reason also of for starting podcast is it will help me build my personal brand. I will eventually meet a lot of cool people whom from whom I will learn, and plus it is good macro to micro strategy. Macro to micro means 1 hour content. Now we will make 30 reels out of it and distribute it everywhere because reels are getting lot more traction. And so these were the three core and biggest reason I think everyone should do podcast, because it's kind of easier for me also, because it's especially for me it's very easy because I really love meeting people. I really like to talk and learn from others. So it goes with my that niche selection what I told now. It is aligned with what who I am. So for me, podcast is really good, and for most people, it can be a really great strategy to start, because most people don't have the time to really select the topic, write the script, crack the perfect thumbnail. It will in podcast also you need thumbnails, but eventually it's easier to start. I think for most people, that's why they should do it. And making crore from it, I think it's possible. There are lots of content creators who are making like they are charging lakhs and like 30 lakhs and more than 30 lakhs
Oh my
per
God.
guest. So
Oh
30
my
a
God.
guest, if I am if I want to host someone for my podcast, I can say give me 20 lakhs and people are willing to pay that. If you reach the top 5%, there are people who are paying really good amount of money just to be the guest. And from that, so with just one podcast, there are so many different ways of monetization and people are doing it. So
Yes. That's
I think
crazy
you can do it.
because I was hearing that people used to pay for the featured articles like Forbes, Hindustan Times, or like some paid magazines, right?
Mhm.
Suddenly, how come people are paying even more money for this podcast? Why do you think there is a shift in that, the way how the consumer behavior, how are they spending so much on these things?
Because
Because 5 years before there was no podcast, 5, 10 years before it, very rarely somebody was doing all those things.
yeah, it was podcast is really old thing. In India, it's very new, but internationally, if you say it, people are doing podcasts from 10 years, 20 years, not 20 years, but
Yes.
long ago. It's going on. Why people are paying so much and why it's so valuable? Because it's very simple. How many articles do you read? I am asking you. How many articles do you read?
Rarely one or two in a month or something. Yeah.
And how many videos do you watch?
I watch every day some podcast.
Yeah, it's easier to consume now. Videos are really
Yes.
easier to consume, and people on social media they're just consuming videos. And podcast,
Correct.
it's a video. Like if you're having camera, it's a video also, and videos have a lot of eyeballs and a lot of attention towards it. That's why it's getting a lot of attention. And when if a person watches you for 1 hour, the probability of you showing your authority, showing who you are, how much knowledge you have, and building a trust factor is much more higher than articles. And even with short videos, even 10-minute video in sales,
Absolutely.
what do salespeople do? They try to talk to you as much as possible. Like they want, if they know if they will talk to you for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the chances of them closing you will increase because the time is increasing. But
Yes.
if you won't talk, you won't give even 1 minute, the probability will shrink down. Same goes with the content also. uh, uh, an article, people will give you very less time. In shorts also they'll give you like 30-40 seconds, but in podcast they can give you 30 minutes of their life. And in that 30 minutes of life, you can really show who you are, what you have built, how powerful you are, and you can influence them directly, indirectly. which will build trust, and then you can uh, sell your stuff and everything like that.
Absolutely loved it. Whatever someone can create 6 months, trust can be created easily within 30 minutes to like 1 hour, right? By providing
Yeah,
value
yeah,
to them. And
yeah,
it's
exactly.
one of the best way to connect with great people also. Absolutely
Yeah.
loved it.
Hmm.
And that's why I truly believe more people in India also have to start doing podcast, right? And it's a
Yeah,
good way to start. Know that.
yeah.
And Zishan,